Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Esther, and welcome to Achieving a Better You show. If you caught episode number 1, then you know exactly who this lady is. She is the self-published author of A Different Kind of Magic. And if you didn't get a chance to see episode 1, then please do, because I think you'll get an enormous amount of information, both on the actual book, her journey, but also talking about things like ADHD, talking about empowering yourself as a parent to help a child, empowering yourself as a possible patient or the caretaker of someone who needs an advocate. So I would strongly advise to go back to YouTube and under my channel, check out episode number 1. So thank you, Veronica Maldonado, for coming again. And I had mentioned in the first episode that you'd be back to talk about how you self-published your book, because I think that a lot of people out there dream about the possibility of writing and publishing a book, but have no clue how to even go about it. And that's where they get stuck. It becomes this far off dream that they don't see any way of it becoming reality. And you did it beautifully, I might add. So again, check out that episode. And at the end of the show, she'll tell us how to contact her if you would love for her to speak in a group of people, with a group of people, or if you're interested in purchasing her book, which you can get through Amazon and her website, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I got some questions for you this time. Last time it was a topic that I knew and loved, so I didn't need any questions, but this time I figured for the viewer's sake, I came up with questions to ask. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so question number 1. So last time we talked about, obviously, your beautiful book, which I loved, and I keep mentioning I love. Since then, since you actually put it out to the world, what's your journey been like?
Oh, it's been different.
How so?
I am the type of person that I kind of like to stay behind the scenes.
Not with this, you're not.
Yes, so this book has definitely brought me from behind the scenes to front and center. So, reaching out to, not reaching out, but having people come and want me to sign their books and kind of like take pictures
Like
while
me.
coming, like taking pictures while I'm signing their books. It kind of just, it's put me in that
spotlight.
Yeah, that dreadful spotlight.
But it's not a dreadful, you got to remember that the people who want you to sign the book consider you almost like a star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you didn't think that would happen, huh?
No.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. And yes, I know I'm definitely an introvert. So for introverts, it is extremely uncomfortable, without a doubt. I can tell you that having done this show 2 years previously, I definitely was out of my comfort zone and having to get to be more comfortable speaking to people. And being in that forefront is definitely unique, like you said. But over time, I think you learn that that's part of it, and you start to grow as a person, and you start to get out of your shell and out of your comfort zone.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. So the next question, can you walk us through the first steps someone should take if they want to self-publish a book?
The first steps that you should take would be a lot of editing. Um, I have sat on this book for about 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
And every time I came back to it, I changed something on it. I changed something or I added something or a situation changed in my life where I thought it was beneficial for the book. So it was a lot of, I don't want this or I want this. And then at first, there weren't any Spanish in the book. And then I got to a point where like, no, I want to be able to show my bilingual culture.
Mhm.
So I went back and I, changed
it.
Yeah.
Changed a couple of
Yes.
words.
Yes. And even through the editing process, or even through the publishing process, there were moments where like I would submit my manuscript and then I was like, no, wait, I got to change something else. So even submitting to the publisher, like the manuscript, there was still changes. And so I think the first step is definitely editing, and don't write the book and then just forget about it.
To give yourself that space.
Yes, give yourself that space to kind of come back with a clear mind, then reread it. And then don't be afraid to let others read it as well before you.
Can I ask you if you had other people read it so that they could get their perspective?
Yes.
And some people are very well versed in English,
right.
in the writing,
right?
So that they can help with that editing part.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you had that as part of the process.
Yes, I did. I work at a high school currently right now. So a lot of my like ESL teachers, my special education teachers that I work with, I was like, hey, can you read this? And I would give them like a paper copy where they can scribble, write their notes. Most of them really enjoyed it. There were some that were like, well, why is there a shoe in every page? Like they were confused with the little Easter eggs that I had. And that's what made me write the dedication to my kids, to kind of explain to the readers, like, this is just kind of like an ode to my daughter, who every time she walks into a room, she takes off her shoes.
Okay. You know what?
Time.
I did not notice that. Now I'm gonna have to go back to the book and look at for those sandals and shoes. That is too funny.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So it took you well, let's back up. Because I think that the most important thing is if someone wants to write a book, and I think you've mentioned it to me before, they just need to write.
Yes.
And I would assume get off of the editing part of it and just write.
Just write.
Just write the book from beginning to end, and then comes the editing.
Yes,
Is that correct?
Exactly.
Because I'm not an author yet, so I would assume that would be the process.
Yes, because a lot of the times people get so focused on, I want to write it, and it just flows into a book, and that's not how it goes right now. Sometimes you have to get your ideas on paper first,
right?
And then you come back, and when you feel like that's done, you come back and then you organize. Like, I want this there, I want that there. So the first step is to actually get it on paper.
Like your ideas and your thoughts.
Yes.
Of what could potentially be on there.
Yes.
And then organize, possibly.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And then the edit.
Yes. Yes.
And like you said, I love the part that you said, once you are done, take a break.
Mm-hmm.
because everything's so fresh and new, and you might be too critical, and so you need that space to then finally go back and read the full thing and then start tweaking. And like you said, half of the time then you go back and you're like, man, I don't like this.
Right. Yes.
And of course, I'm sure the authors out there, and especially the ones who publish, know that very well, that there are many edits along the way until you come to a product that you're happy with.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, how did you choose a publisher then?
So this was so again,
Or
I've been
a publishing company, right? I think I don't know the terminology, so
No, it's fine. So so the person that actually pushed me to publish my book was actually one of my psychology professors. And I had to create a children's book for one of her assignments. And I had asked her, hey, I kind of already have one. Can I submit that one instead? And she was like, what? She's like, you have one and is it published? And I was like, no, we're not there yet. So when she read the book, she literally was like, Veronica, why are you sitting on this?
So you submitted this book or a version, the unedited version,
Yes,
to your psychology professor.
yes.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
That was back April.
Okay.
Back in
Okay,
April.
so not too far back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she made it her goal, she's like, I will only accept this if it's published. Right. And
So what you submitted was a published version,
so yes, at
or
the
right
end,
before.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, at the end of class, that's I submitted the published version because she didn't want because we had to swap with other classmates our book.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is your ideas, like this is a real book in the making. And before you swap it with anyone, I want to make sure that you have all of the copyright, everything. So she was the one that kind of like pushed me to do it and gave me that kind of like encouragement, like, Veronica, why are you sitting on this?
That's fantastic.
Yes. So then my next step was actually a cousin of mine, she published her books too. So I had reached out to her and I had asked her, hey, like, what were your steps? Can you guide me through this? So she was the one that kind of like positioned me to where I needed to be or kind of pointed me into that right direction. So I'm not sure if I completely answered your
Okay, so
who's the publisher right now? Okay, so when I did my research, so my cousin, her name is Jenica. When Jenica told me that she published her books through Amazon, I went and she had to go away on a book tour, I believe. And so there was about 2 weeks that I couldn't get in contact with her. So I decided, okay, well, let me research this. So when I researched it, there's an ISBN that goes on the back of your book. And when you publish your book to Amazon, if you don't have an ISBN, Amazon will give you one. But when I researched it, it said that if Amazon gives you that book or that ISBN, then they are officially the publisher. And I kind of didn't want that.
Okay.
So I researched alternatives, and the alternative was to purchase my own ISBNs, and I would have to purchase them through the state. So there was the option of buy one ISBN with the barcode for $150 or buy 10 ISBNs for $300.
$300.
Yes.
Okay.
So at first I was like, I'm going to do the 150 because it's only one book. But then the logical part was one ISBN for 150 or
Or
10
10 for
for 300.
300. So from a money perspective, obviously the 10 would be a
Right.
better deal.
Right.
But like, in most instances, if you go into the realm of being an author,
Right.
usually it's not just one book.
It's usually not just
Usually. So
Just-
why not do the 10
Right.
instead of the one?
right. And just in a different kind of magic, every type of book needs a different ISBN. So the paperback has one ISBN. The hardcover has another
I
ISBN.
didn't know that.
Yes. And if I
Okay.
decided to do a PDF version of my book, that's another ISBN.
Oh, so the 10, but you'd be
yes.
already taking 3 of those just
Yes.
one book.
Yes, and I've actually been sitting on a chapter book for the past like 6 years. So so that's in the making. I just wanted to start. I wanted to start off smaller
Yes,
with
absolutely.
the children's book. So
and you had the impetus
yes,
from your psychology
I did.
professor,
I did.
which was a blessing.
Yes,
Truly a blessing.
definitely.
Because this, as she said, this book definitely needed to be out to the world.
Yes. So because I bought the ISBNs and I registered them myself through the state, like everything is mine, copyright is mine. So technically I am the publisher,
Mm-hmm.
and Amazon has now become just my printing person.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I just didn't want to. And then when I researched it, if I want my book to go to Barnes and Nobles, which I'm working on that now, it just looks more professional if Amazon wasn't the publisher.
Got it.
So I kept that in mind too, where I don't want it just to stay on Amazon. I do want to where it can go anywhere and everywhere. So that's why I decided to purchase the 10 ISBNs and become the publisher of the book.
Good to know. I didn't know any of that. See, I'm learning. Hence why I have the questions written. Okay, so, well, the next question you sort of alluded to. How did you learn the process? Was it mostly trial and error, or did you have help?
Yes. So help, guidance with my cousin Jenica. She's been great. Just being so patient. And then when she was away those 2 weeks, I kind of had to research and
do your own research.
Yeah,
and
the
try to
trial and
figure
error.
out
Yes.
what you wanted
Yes.
to do. Yeah, and so I would tell the viewership that don't be so afraid of making mistakes. Don't be so afraid for asking for help. So many people are like afraid to do that. So how did you find out that information? Just by Googling as the world does, or how did you find out about that information in terms of the ISBN?
Googling really, and just having just a supportive like family, and Jonathan had helped me too.
Which is your husband.
Yes, yes. And he's just been very supportive. And if I don't understand something or I'm getting flustered, he kind of rereads it over for me, and he's like, "This is what it's saying."
Got it. Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Because every area has a certain lingo that you may not understand.
Yes.
And somebody else may. So yes, so it's really important to not be so rigid and ask for help.
Right.
Yes. Because then that just means that your book never gets published.
Yeah.
Your idea is in that dream world. So were there moments you felt like giving up?
Yes.
So tell me about it.
So when I would like submit the manuscript to Amazon, there was a lot of kickbacks. They would kick it back and they're like, "No, this is not working," or the framework isn't where it needs to be. But but you have to like, they give you a proof of the book, and I was like, I love the proof. This is how I want it. And so I wasn't. So the kickback every time Amazon would kick it back to me, I was like, yep, this is not working. Like because sometimes I'm a perfectionist.
I was gonna say, okay, I already know the word.
I'm a perfectionist, unfortunately, and when it gets kicked back, I'm like, oh no, God, it's not working.
This wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Instead of no, there are some mistakes you need to fix to
Right.
make it to the point where it is publishable and you're gonna succeed.
And the crazy thing is that every time Amazon kick it back, I would reread the whole book again, and I'm like, oh, thank God they kicked it back because now I gotta fix this, and then I gotta fix this. So it was like it was kind of like God's like, nope, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's funny because for those of you that believe out there, we do.
yes,
I believe that definitely God puts obstacles or blockages to let us know that for that exact reason. Like, no, I can't tell you how many times. Now my Wi-Fi in my house is fine. And I'll be sitting in an area that is perfectly fine Wi-Fi wise, but I will go and try to send a text or try to send an email and nothing happens. Or there's blockages. And then the same thing. I have to read it and be like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound right. Or that's not the message I'm trying to convey. So therefore I tweak it. And the minute I tweak it, all of a sudden, boom, it goes immediately. And I was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
That was not meant to be. So sometimes those kickbacks, as you put them, are to say, hey, this isn't exactly the best production that should be going out, not to take it as a sense of failure, or even if it is a sense of, yeah, you failed, take it in an objective scientific way.
yes.
And not say that you're failing, but rather objectively, almost like a scientist, what is it? What's the lesson? What do I have to learn from this mistake? And then go with it.
Yes, definitely.
And not give up. Right?
Yes.
So how did you push through? How did you have that resiliency to keep going?
My professor and my grade.
Okay, that's true. That's true. There was an impetus here.
Yes. Yeah. So I just kept thinking, like, if I don't submit this, I don't get my 4.0.
Got it.
So that's
So that was yeah. So everybody has a push or the thing that will propel you forward. But I would tell you, don't give up.
Yeah.
If you go through a publisher and the publisher keeps sending you things that no, this isn't right, this isn't right. It's like the story with the electricity and the light bulb, like Edison. How many times did it not work? How many times did it fail? So again, don't give up, keep going. Look for the signs, because even though you have those blockages, God's always showing signs that you need to keep going. You just maybe have to look at it from a different set of eyes or tweak it or do something differently. Okay. What did you learn about yourself during this journey that surprised you?
I learned that I keep pushing myself to the limit. Like I feel like, hey Veronica, you just keep pushing, you just keep seeing how far you can go. And I didn't, the one book the chapter book that I've pretty much sat on for the past 6 years, I've had plenty of people tell me to, Veronica, you should really write this book. You should really write this book. And I started, but then I doubt myself. And that's why it's been sitting for that long.
Well, obviously, lady, you have talent. So,
So and then I also realized that I've positioned myself to um to where I have supportive people around me. And a lot of people um struggle with that. They kind of like, I believe that God has given me discernment. And there are some people, even family, that didn't know that I was working on my book or that I even had the book sitting. So when it launched, I had a lot of family members like, you never told me. And I was like, because it wasn't time yet. So I feel like I knew just the right people to tell and just the right people that were going to push me when needed. Because I even my best friends, like I would send them the illustrations and they would tell me, like one of my best friend Marisol, she would tell me like, Veronica, her nose on there doesn't match page 6. And I would go back and I'm like, oh my God, let me fix it.
so you did the sketches as well.
I did the sketches, yes. I did the sketches. That's what took the longest. But so what I did with the illustrations was I did the sketches. However, I put it through a programming that would color it for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So that's a lot of people ask me about the illustrations, and we just went somewhere with my dad, and this lady asked me about the illustrations, and before I could say nothing, dad jumps in and dad was like, oh no, she did them. You got to see the room in my house. Like, because I painted one for one of my nieces and I have like drew like cartoons on it and everything. So since he knows that I draw and not a lot of people know that about me.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yes, I do. I do. I like to draw. It's my mellow place.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I did the sketches, but I I uploaded my sketches onto this program that just colored it for me and kind of like made it cartoony. That's why a lot of my social medias, I'll put like a sketch of what it looked before compared to what it looked like after I put it through the program.
Oh, I'll have to look.
Yeah.
I don't think I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. I know technology today is quite incredible.
Yes,
if
amazing.
you know how to use it, which I'm learning.
I am too.
What does achieving a better you look like now compared to before you became an author?
The behind the scenes part, achieving a better me, because I realized that I'm too much behind the scenes. And having to come out and meeting new people, and I literally went to a funeral on Wednesday.
Right. Sorry for the passing.
No, he's in a better place. But one of the family members of the deceased came up to me and was like, Veronica, I see your book. And I was like, oh, that's great. And they were, dad jumps in and dad was like, yeah, she got some in her car. And I was like, Dad, it's not the time. So she said that she was meaning to buy one. And, I didn't want to charge her for the book, especially at a funeral. She just lost a loved one.
Sure.
So I gave it to her for free. And then like 4 other people approached me about it. And I was like, oh. And I looked at my best friend, which is his father that passed away. I was like, I'm so sorry. This was not my intention. So that behind the scenes and then coming out and being the spotlight, where in situations like a funeral where I shouldn't be the spotlight. I feel like it's helped me. It's helped me come out of that
Shell.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like it's going to position me where whatever God is trying to position me for, it's going to position me because I have this dream of being a TED talker.
That's fantastic.
And I can't be a TED talker.
Hey, you put it out there.
I can't be a TED talker if I'm behind the scenes.
If you don't come out of your shell, I agree.
Right. So I feel like, okay, God, you're helping
Step
me,
at a time.
right, achieve a better me, definitely.
That's fantastic. So what is the one thing that you wish someone had told you before you started all this?
How hard it is, but how rewarding it is. Because some people stick on to the rewarding part and then forget and get so flustered in the hard work.
Sure.
And then some people get so focused on the hard work part that they quit and they don't get to the rewarding part. So I think if I could tell anybody anything or one thing that I've gotten out was just that both. It's definitely, I appreciate my book because I know how much work I put into it.
Yeah.
And the book comes from, and the material in the book comes from a very personal and emotional place in my life. So seeing it become reality and then getting all of the text messages or all of the reviews or people that don't know me that have reached out to me already, like, this is such a great book. Like, I am so glad that you did what you did. And one lady emailed me and told me that she was so happy that she purchased my book and that she thinks that her grandson has ADHD and she's going to have that tough conversation
With the parent.
Yeah. And that's the rewarding part.
I was going to say that's definitely rewarding to
Yes.
hear that.
Yes.
And that's why I insisted that you be my first guest to talk about the subject of ADHD. Okay, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So what's next on your personal journey? Mentioned about TED Talks.
Yeah.
But what else is in your journey?
So right now, I have a few goals that I'm working on now. I'm actually editing my son's book.
That's fantastic.
Yes, so he just gave me the rough draft. I edited it and I added some things, tweaked some things, gave it back to him, and I said, "Tell me what you think." And then he sat on it for like 2 days and then came back and he's like, "Mom, I really like this. I'm going to take this out." So I'm teaching him that you're going to take a break. And he was like, when he gave me his binder, he was like, "Okay, Mom, so you're going to read it today?" It's like, "Nope." And
Good for you, because now you're passing it along
Yeah.
to your son. That's fantastic.
Yes. So I read it 2 weeks later, and just so that he can kind of forget about it and then come back to it. So I've edited it and now I'm going to be working on the illustrations with him. So that's my current project that I'm working on. And then I am working on finishing my chapter book and hopefully getting this book, A Different Kind of Magic, into Barnes and Noble.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I've seen your journey. So I know.
Yes. Yes, you have.
Full well. So tell the audience how they can contact you, how they can purchase the book, and also look into the future for other books.
Yes, so you can contact me through my website. It's Maldonado Books. So MALDONADO books.com. If you hit the three lines on the top left, it's going to say connect with the author. You can click it and it'll send me an email directly. I am working on getting like a business phone for situations like that. You can get the book on my website as well and on Amazon. And then for any future events, it is also going to be on my website as well.
That's fantastic. Very good. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me again.
Again. So as I say at the end of every episode, there's always a way of achieving a better version of yourself, no matter what the circumstances. Keep hope and Christ alive. And until next time.